If City get Kane, get Grealish, are they unstoppable?
Well, it seems that on paper because they're two tremendous players. They were instrumental at the clubs they play for. You know, Grealish has been incredible, and every level he's been asked to play at. When he was a Championship player, can he do it in the higher level? Questions were asked. I think Jack has ticked that box quite clearly, hasn't he? He's been tremendous for Villa. He creates, he fits into what Guardiola wants, players who can be very, very comfortable on the ball. Villa are a very determined club. Their ambition has been for everyone to see that they're out going after players as well. They have money behind them. It's an exciting club to be at. I think that would be a big dent to them as a football club. I'm not saying that it wouldn't be for Tottenham because they're going through the same feeling. It's a tough one because they look nearly unbeatable if you think about the way they improved their team defensively with Diaz coming in alongside Stones, who was like a new signing. It makes you think who is going to get the better of them. But there are clubs showing their muscle in the Premier League. Chelsea haven't done much yet and they're European champions. Okay, don't expect them just to go through this summer because they do it every year to go and make a really big signing. I suspect that's going to happen. The Premier League is the holy grail of football at the moment for players wanting to get to. Not everybody wants to come here, but you do know that it's a driving force. It really is doing some spectacular deals. So, look, the major clubs in England are getting stronger and stronger. They just are. They keep adding.
With regards to Kane and Jack Grealish then, both of them playing for their boyhood clubs, there's that emotional side of things that you might want to factor in. And with Jack Grealish in particular, you know, and the same for Harry Kane, obviously, at Tottenham. When both of them are fit, you know that they're both going to play. Now, it might obviously be different at Manchester City in the sense that you expect Kane will play. But with Jack Grealish, there's so many attacking options at Manchester City. Will it be harder for him? And is it also a good test for him to make that move? Because it's a given that he's always going to play for Villa, not necessarily a given that he'd play for City, is it?
Yeah, but there's a big thing about playing for Pep Guardiola.
Yeah.
You know, if you've seen what he's done as a coach and the teams he's produced and the way they play football, that would be a golden opportunity. And you're right to say about wide men. You look at the wide men that have done brilliantly well and fell out of favour at City, whether it's Sane, whether it's Bernardo Silva, who, by the way, was tremendous. You know, 18-month period, he was unplayable at times. David Silva's left the football club. Many of them utilised one in, one out. Mahrez,
Sterling fell out of favour last season.
Yeah, it's just incredible. It's one of the biggest asks of wide men, you know, in the modern game. If you're a Pep wide man, you're going to be, you know, changed sometimes, or you're going to be given different jobs and different positions, but Jack is, again, just a huge talent. And like I said, when I talk about levels, you know, the question was, could he do it for England? It was quite clear that, you know, although he didn't play enough in the Euros, in my opinion, Jack, every time he's put on the England shirt, has been a major player. You know, I think of the first 4 games he played, he was 3 times man of the match. So, you know, he's playing at an incredible level.
And how important is it for players, as you will know, having played the game, to test yourself, to make those moves sometimes away from the comfort zone of what both Kane and Grealish will have been used to?
Yeah, they're very similar because both of them, like you said, play for boyhood clubs. You know, they've supported or you know, been there since a very young age, and they haven't been successful. And both of them are good enough to win things. So you've got to be playing Champions League football, and you've got to be challenging to win the Premier League. So inevitably, that's got to be their goal. You know, not everyone's going to say, like Alan Shearer, play for my boyhood club and stay there, or, you know, he played for Blackburn, won something, but always wanted to go to Newcastle. That was his driving force. This is slightly different. These are 2 players that really haven't won what they should have. You know, they should have been players to lift in major trophies regular.
With regards to the money then that Spurs may well get, which we don't yet know if there's going to be some players coming in as a swap deal. Like we've mentioned Bernardo Silva possibly. 160 million though is what's being reported. How do they spend that money?
I think
we heard a caller there on the sports bar saying about Danny Ings, for example.
Yeah. Well, you bid more for him, but I'm not sure Southampton are going to let Danny go for even 30 million because they'll be thinking about staying in the Premier League the year after. And if you're going to let someone like Danny Ings go, you've got to be doing some really good business. Your recruitment's got to be spot on.
Even if his deal's running out?
Yeah, even if he's got... Yeah, well, 30 million is not... You know, if you're talking 130 plus million just to stay in the Premier League now, that's what? 25% of that is, you know, 30 million. It's neither here nor there. even though you could argue, well, his contract's up, let him go. But you could easily fall into that trap of being a relegated team. And I don't think Ings going for 30 million, they'd want to do that deal to say, we'll keep him. And if he has to go for nothing and we stay in the Premier League, surely we gain more. I mean, he's a great mentality. Work ethic is fantastic, Danny Ings. But it's a challenge for these clubs.
So what do Tottenham do?
I think they've got to rebuild their team, and I think they've got, obviously, if you lose Kane, you have to have a centre forward ready to come in. They haven't got that at the football club at the moment. You certainly got to build that back four because that's not good enough. The midfield needs, for me, a very attractive, very competent midfielder who can handle the ball in many difficult situations and be a creator. I don't think they've got that. So there are issues that they need to. When they did the Bale did and it all backfired, they got it totally wrong. But there are clubs who do really good business and their recruitment teams are fantastic. Tottenham have to be that type of football club if they're going to rebuild Spurs.